there, dance studio owners and dance teachers. It's Clint here from Dance Teachers Unite, your host for our virtual summit. And I'm super excited to be chatting to a good friend of mine, Mr. Chris Ducker, who is the expert around all things outsourcing. And that's what we're chatting about today. How to outsource in your dance studio so we can grow your studio, but also so we can give you back your life. And it is possible. Hello, Mr. Chris Ducker. How are you?
Hello, I'm very good. Thanks for having me. I'm pumped to be here.
Great to have you. Now, Chris, in 60 seconds, I'd love for you to tell our studio owners what you do, a little bit about your business, as well as what's your big mission in the world.
Well, my big mission in the world is to stop entrepreneurial burnout, because I suffered it myself back in 2009. It weren't pretty in any way, shape, or form. And what I do is I help people by building their companies and their businesses in a smart way, focusing mainly on productivity and delegation. I believe they do go hand in hand. And I think the more you delegate, the more productive you become, but you're becoming productive in the right way, not making extra time in your day for busy sort of tasks and things like that, but genuinely getting to the point of being able to focus on truly what you should be focusing on as that business owner, rather than being trapped in the stuff day to day that we sometimes get ourselves sucked down into.
Yes, and that is so relevant for dance studio owners, because the one thing I talk to them about is it's okay to let go and to delegate, and you don't have to be wearing every single hat in your business, and it's actually not smart for you to do that. So when did you kind of come across this thing called outsourcing? I know you've got a background in having burnout yourself. I mean, what brought you on to create this business now that helps other businesses outsource?
Well, I'd actually been outsourcing for many, many years. So things like logo designs and anything kind of graphic related or web related, I was already outsourcing, but they weren't called VAs or virtual assistants or virtual staff. They were just called web developers or graphic designers, you know what I mean? Yeah. And so I just got used to sort of pumping out that type of work because we didn't need somebody internally full time on those particular roles. So I was doing it for a while, but then, like I said, burnout hit late 2009. I woke up one morning and I literally could not get out of bed. And I'm not exaggerating. My body had totally given up. My wife called the doctor. He came around. We have a family doctor, came around directly to the house and sort of took some vitals and did all the rest. He took some blood. We ran some tests. And he turned around. He basically said I was suffering from acute exhaustion. And I couldn't sleep. I was stressed out all the time. And knowing that I was exhausted made me feel even worse about the whole situation, because I had 130 odd people working for me at the time, and I just could not get to the point of not being there. And so antidepressants, a month later, I'm feeling better, I'm feeling stronger, I've gained some more weight, and then I start delegating like crazy. And I started taking myself out of the business bit by bit by bit. And by the end of 2010, I'd actually removed myself all pretty much day to day from the business, and I had to hire 8 people to do it. So that just shows you how many different hats I was wearing. I had 8 people to remove myself.
Crazy. And I'm sure that many studio owners can identify with that, because I think they'd need 8 people or more to replace them in their business as well. But it's something that you definitely need to do to be able to grow and scale and move the business forward. I mean, at that first point, so many business owners, studio owners are skeptical when it comes to outsourcing. And I guess they just don't know where to start. I mean, what advice would you have for them if they're not outsourcing at the moment? Maybe they're not outsourcing any of their graphics work, or they don't have a virtual assistant or a GVA, a general virtual assistant on board. What's the first steps?
Well, the first step is to truly just dip your toe in the water and not try and take on too much at once. Even though you feel like you've got a ton of work that you could be outsourcing, it doesn't mean that you should try and outsource it all at once. So start with something really, really simple, really, really easy, like maybe, and I'm not a dance studio owner and I'm not a dancer or a dance teacher. So it's a little hard for me. I'm going to try and put myself into the position.
I'll guide you.
You've got a little bit more experience in this realm.
I'd hope so.
So, things like, for example, things like maybe designing a printed newsletter that you might want to give out to your students when they come into the studio. Maybe, updating your Facebook page with some pretty graphics instead of the stuff that you knock together in Photoshop or Canva, and you have zero skills when it comes to doing that. We all do this stuff. We're type A. Us entrepreneurs, we've got issues. We've got major problems. Yeah. And so little things like that, things like, logo design or landing page design on your website. Or maybe you've got a video that you've recorded of you, teaching a class, and you want to have that maybe transcribed and turned into a short ebook that you can maybe give away on your website for free to create an email list, and all these other different types of things. These are little one-off tasks. Once they're done, you pay the money, thank you for playing, and everybody moves on. And as you get into the realm of, and you start sort of doing that on a more regular basis, you'll find that it's actually quite addictive. Like, you won't want to work at all. Maybe you end up dancing all day long. I don't know. I mean, right? So, you get the opportunity to then start sort of looking at roles rather than tasks. And that's when, for me, the number one role is that GVA that you mentioned, that general virtual assistant that I believe every entrepreneur should have, at least some sort of a connection with. And you really, truly do enable yourself then to bring a team member on board and to truly start outsourcing an actual role on a daily basis. That's when the real freedom comes into play.
Yeah, sure. Chris, I want to go back.